So hybrid stringing is hugely popular at the top of the men's game. Take a look at our current top 10. Nearly half of the players are using a hybrid. And compare that to 10 years ago when, again, half of the players were still using a hybrid. And yet, for some reason, when you show up to a recreational tennis tournament or league, almost everybody is using poly. I personally am guilty too. I've been ride or die on the polyester bandwagon since I first started using an adult racket back in 2008. But how do you know you aren't missing out on something until you try it? Well, that's what I've been wondering, especially since there are some pretty obvious benefits to hybrid stringing. Generally, you're gonna see better comfort, a lot more forgiveness, a little bit easier power, and much better tension maintenance. And you can definitely make the argument that a better hybrid is gonna have superior depth control and better directional control compared to a full poly setup. However, in tennis, we just don't get everything for free, so you're gonna give up a few things. Mainly spin, that's the huge one here, but also durability is a factor. And if you're the kind of player who controls the ball using spin, you might feel like you're gonna lose a lot of control as well. The thing is, when you watch TV, it's really hard to tell if a pro using full poly is actually hitting more spin compared to a player using a hybrid. And that's because pros are rich. They can afford natural gut for their hybrid, which is usually not something we see at the recreational level. Modern natural gut, especially when paired with polyester, gives great spin. It's really hard to see much of degradation compared to a full bed of poly. But the problem is, you're gonna be looking at like $50 a set for natural gut, maybe $25 for a half set in a hybrid. And this might be fine for you if you're just trying it once, but if you string once a month or more, it will add up really fast. I personally think if you do want to start testing out hybrids and you're not ready to jump onto natural gut, you should start with the cheapest thing, which is your solid core nylon synthetic gut, aka syn gut. So when you take your racket in to try that hybrid, to try that syn gut, your stringer should ask you one question. Do you want the poly in the mains, or do you want the poly in the crosses? And historically, it's been way more popular to put poly in the mains. And this is because people usually break their mains first, and poly's more durable. You want to see that durability come to the forefront. However, the fact that both Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic both use gut in the mains of their rackets has led many of us tennis nerds to wonder if nylon should be in the mains too. So let's put this to the test. I strung up my Extreme Tours with Slinko Confidential as the poly and Slinko's Pro Stacked Syn Gut as the nylon. One racket has nylon mains and the other has poly mains. For me, there's a huge difference. I was shocked. Mostly the difference in feel between the two. I wouldn't say the difference in overall performance is that different. I think, you know, your spin, your power are both right in line regardless of which you go with.
Okay, so I tried both. I don't know that much about strings, as you all know, but sounded a little better. They didn't sound broken when I was hitting them. I don't know if that's to do with Beckett's shoddy craftsmanship or just the nature of this string setup, but I wouldn't use either of these. F tier for both of them.
For me, the connection to the ball with the nylon mains is so much better. You get longer dwell time, you get more of a feeling of energy return. It just really pockets that ball so much more sweetly. You get a more solid sound on contact, and it's just so much better. With the poly mains, you can hear the string struggling to fully snap back against the nylon, which is not my favorite, and it leads to this like really high-pitched vibration noise that I do not like at all.
Overall, neither worked for me. I didn't get any easy depth. I didn't get any real easy spin. Really sucked. And the ones with the nylons in the mains only slightly suck.
In terms of launch angle, I think nylon mains more consistent for sure, as long as you straighten your strings. We've put about 2 hours, that's not true. We've put about 45 minutes on each of these, and you can see durability is not gonna be quite the same as poly, but 'tis the sacrifice. So since we didn't have any success with these hybrids, I thought I should call up one of my favorite tennis nerds in the world, my good buddy Adrian over at Direct Tennis. This man grinds stringing so hard day in and day out, so I just have to respect and trust his opinion. I also love to see these kind of grassroots stringers taking their skills and passion for tennis online. And that's exactly the kind of experience you'll get if you download direct tennis using the links below. If you need your racket strung by someone you can trust, or if you're a home stringer looking to expand your customer base, direct tennis is simultaneously a big brain play and a complete no-brainer. So yeah, you're saying to use like Slinko X Natural in the mains and Tourline Wasabi X in the crosses? So I'm absolutely thrilled with how this hybrid turned out. It went way better than I could have imagined. The grip you get on the ball from the textured, rough X Natural really reflects the kind of grip you would get from like mildly shaped poly like Hyper G or something. And then the snapback that you get with the Wasabi X lasts so much longer than any other hybrid I've tried with like a very soft main. You can see towards the edges, pretty solid snapback still remains, but up where I contact the ball, it's staying out of place a little bit. There's also some light discoloration forming. This is 30 to 45 minutes of like not super intense hitting. Is there any notching? Yes, there is certainly some notching occurring in the multi here.
These were super soft, super comfortable strings. These are the first nylon strings I've used where I've actually noticed a difference in the level of comfort compared to a poly. It gave me good directional ability. It gave me a decent amount of spin, more than I've probably experienced with a nylon string. And I think that had to do with something with the poly crosses. But overall, I really liked it. I was just disappointed in the lifespan, but I think that that's something that comes with the nature of hitting with a nylon string.
Usually you see multi-filaments like this fray, but for some reason we got notching here, which meant that even like when the string's almost broken, there was still snapback going on, which was amazing. The feel on contact is so much softer than you'd get it with any poly. We strung this a little bit tighter than I would with a poly to retain that control, and the directional control is phenomenal. It's way better than the polys that I'm gonna try. I can like feel like on flat shots I can put my aggressive balls on a dime and I don't have to use spin to control the ball. In fact, that's the downside. It's really hard to use spin to control the ball, and yes, the directional control is amazing, the depth control is amazing, but where things kind of fall apart is height control. So I felt kind of locked into maybe no more than 1 meter over the net. And beyond that, I was not able to generate enough spin to bring that ball down into the baseline. My average rally ball is much less heavy with this hybrid setup as opposed to a full poly setup. So that's the downside. It's taking away heaviness on my rally ball, but the upside is I feel so much more in control while I'm being aggressive. For me, poly is a mainstay and I'm probably gonna stick with that, but if you're looking for like a sneaky good hybrid setup with way better spin potential than average, X Natural is an excellent name.
Overall, I think that I could still, hit the shots I normally wanted to hit, but they did have a little bit less topspin than I'm used to. So I could definitely make the switch if I was looking for something that is a bit more comfort oriented, but overall I still prefer polys in general, and I think that that's still going to be the direction I'm taking.
So what should you do if you want to try a hybrid? Well, I think you got to find out what you like. Poly mains or nylon mains? Simon and I both way preferred the nylon mains, and I kind of think that's the way to go for almost everyone, but there's a lot more that we could experiment with. For example, we could go with like a locked string bed, meaning really rough, grippy strings like Tour Bite Diamond rough in the crosses to really get a lot of grip on the ball. There's a huge amount of potential in terms of what kind of setups we could look into. So if you think there's something we could try, or you want to see more hybrid experimentation from us in the future, please let us know in the comments. And if you're looking for a new string for your hybrid setup, I would highly recommend Tourline Wasabi X and the Cross. I'll leave a link, affiliate link in the description below for that. If you do use that link, it does support the channel, so thank you very much. And if you kind of want some help in terms of what you're not sure where to go with your next string setup, also just leave a comment. I do try to reply to all the questions, but we also have paid string consultations if you want to support the channel financially. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.